Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is a wonderful day, and I am so happy that you're with me today. It is such a blessing. This is Tuesday. It is the 15th of October in the year 2024. God has blessed us to live to see another day. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. Amen. I'm so happy, happy, happy that you're with me today. And today we're talking about agitators and aggravators in life. Have you ever experienced people who just aggravate you and agitate you? Seems like it's their assignment in life for a certain period of time to just aggravate you, to annoy you, to just bother you when they have no business doing it, but they just do it and do it. So we're going to talk about how to deal with those kinds of people today. So you want to just stop, just go away. You love people, you love everybody, you want to love everybody, you want to have a good relationship with everybody, but you cannot have that good relationship with everyone, but you can love everyone. But many times you have to love people at a distance because of how they are in life. And so we're going to talk about the agitators and the aggravators today, and we're going to Psych Central. And we have two other pieces that we want to present today. So I'm going to get right into those, right into those. Let me get my monitor here. Make sure I have everything monitored here because I like to keep it in order, keep everything going really good. So here we go. Let me get to this and get this up here, and we will be on our way. And please just comment, let me hear from you, and please share this. It's something when we have nuggets, we have good things that we can share with people, and then people just sit on them for just no justifiable reason at all when they could be helping someone else. And it is our job as human beings to try to help our brothers and our sisters in any way that we possibly can. And somebody might just hear a sentence in these webcasts that can help them to have a better day, a better life for the rest of their lives. And so those who are watching me, I thank you so much for sharing. I ask you to share and share with the people. Share with the people. Thank you so much. I am just really, really thankful because I can be here with you today. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's such a privilege and an honor to be able to be here today. And for some reason, my light is not like I like it. I like it really bright. But I'm going to go ahead and go into these and WikiHow. I'm going to start with WikiHow. And before I start WikiHow, I want to ask you, have you listened to my first episode of Ain't No Love? If you haven't, you're really missing out. I think, about 4 or 5 more episodes to the end of it. So please, please take the privilege to listen to Ain't No Love. And you can listen to it on Spotify, but you can right on Facebook, and you can link it from YouTube. You can go there, go directly to Spotify podcast and look up S Polk Radio or Miss S Polk, and you can listen to the first episode of Ain't No Love. All right. How to cope with annoying people. And this is WikiHow, and it's co-authored by Julia Lyuchenko, and it's MSMA. And it was last updated on July 22nd in 2024. So we will go right into that. Maybe you have an annoying coworker, that you have to work with every day. And many of us have experienced that, haven't we? Or perhaps you have a friend who is starting to get on your nerves and you are not sure how to deal with them. And sometimes it's not them, it could be us. But either way, we're going to learn to deal with that today if we don't already know how. But we know we've had experiences, and it's not to say that we won't have experiences in the future. So we're going to learn how to deal with people, the agitators, the aggravators, the people that annoy us, annoying people. And if we're one of those people, we're going to learn how not to be that kind of person, okay? So maybe you have an annoying coworker that you have to work with every day, or perhaps you have a friend who is starting to get on your nerves and you're not sure how to deal with them. Coping with an annoying person or annoying people is a life skill that can come in handy in many social situations, personally and professionally. You can cope with people that get on your nerves by working hard to maintain your composure and by finding ways to avoid a conflict with them. So if you can no longer cope with the annoying person, you may need to confront them in a respectful and proactive way. Isn't this good? Deal with them in a respectful and proactive way. Some people are hard to convince, but you have to deal with it the best way for everybody, okay? And sometimes it takes practice. You can't just jump right into it, okay? That's why these webcasts are here to help us out. Okay, now here we go. Number one, how are we going to deal with people in a respectful and proactive way? Part one of three parts here: maintaining your composure. Maintaining your composure. All right. Number one, take a deep breath and stay calm. We're going to maintain our composure. We're learning how to do that when we're dealing with difficult people, annoying people, agitating, aggravating people. Though you may find it difficult to handle being around an annoying person, you should strive to maintain your composure and stay calm. Okay? Getting angry, upset, or frustrated may only ruin your day and have no real effect on how that person is behaving. And that's for real. And you'd be all upset, all out of what to say, out of joints, out of sorts, and all of that. And this person just going right on doing what they do, annoying people. Okay? Rather than let your emotions get the best of you. And sometimes it seems like it's their assignment just to annoy you, doesn't it? It seems like that sometimes just I'm assigned just to get on your nerves. So we're learning to deal with that today. So rather than let your emotions get the best of you, try to take deep breaths and remain calm. The first point here is you may try doing deep breathing exercises where you close your eyes and inhale deeply in your nose from your diaphragm, followed by a deep exhale out of your nose. You may do deep breathing a few times to calm down and block out the annoying person. There are so many things that we do just to keep our composure and to be happy with ourselves, happy on the inside. We have to do these things. We must do these things. I think I must have my volume down. Okay, I'm just testing my volume, okay, on my monitor. So next, here we go. Doing the breathing and the exhaling and the inhaling. Okay, now next. Number two, do not react to them. There are people who try to stir you up and get you to react to them. And sometimes it's try to, yeah, I knew she didn't have this and she was like this. Or yeah, I knew he was like this and like that. And then sometimes they just like the personal satisfaction of aggravating you and trying to get you to get out of sorts and to act unseemly and try to prove something to themselves. Okay, I see my camera seems like it's acting up here, so I'm going to have to uh, re do this, and I'll continue talking, but I'm going to have to uh, do this because this camera is acting up. Okay. People, people who people who make it a point to aggravate you and get you all out of sorts. Okay, I'm going to go right ahead here and continue this because I do have my microphone is working. Do not react to them. Though you may be tempted to yell or curse at the person who is annoying you, reacting to them will only upset you and give the person the attention they may be seeking. Instead, you should focus on tuning out what they are saying and try not to react to them. Try your very best not to react to them, okay? These are good points. Coping through non reaction can be a good way to get used to the annoying person and not them get to you, okay? You hear this? Coping through non reaction can be a good way to get used to the annoying person and not them, not let them, that should be let in there, I believe, not let them get to you. First point here, you may try repeating a word in your mind to help you not react to that person. This word may be compassion or acceptance. Try saying the word in your mind over and over until it becomes a mantra for you to lean on. Say it over and over and over and over. Yes, say it over and over so it can help you out. There are ways, and these ways, if we just use these ways will help us. Oh, yes, they will. They will help us out. Okay, so we're in WikiHow, and we'll continue here. Next, I'm going to go back to this. You may try repeating a word. Then it said like compassion and these words you could lean on. And then we go down, on down into our lesson here and go to number 3. We're still in WikiHow, maintaining your composure, addressing it. Now try to empathize with the person. Try to empathize with the person. That's me. Try to feel what they feel. Try to feel it so you can try to understand what's going on here. You want to try to understand what in the world is going on with this person. People have problems. People have problems. Yes, they do. They have problems, and then they take out, because sometimes they don't know any better. They don't know why they're acting out. They don't know why they're deflecting their feelings, and they're taking things out and aggravating other people and trying to compensate for their troubles. And some people don't understand why they're doing this, don't even know that they're doing these things. But we're talking about this today because it needs to be talked about when people are are annoying. Try to empathize with that person to help maintain your composure. It may help to try to view a situation or issue from the person's point of view. Put yourself in their shoes for a second. Don't try to stay there, okay? Put yourself in that person's shoes for a second and consider why or how they may have become so annoying. Be empathetic toward the person and show them some compassion. Doing this may help you remain calm and composed around them. It could help, but only go as far as you know you can go. When you hit your limitation, it might be time to get out of that person's company, get to a different location somewhere where you can have peace of mind and you won't do something that you'll regret, okay? Or say something that you'll regret. Now, for example, perhaps the person who is always pointing out the negatives of every situation did not have a very happy childhood and tends to see only the worst possible outcomes. Or maybe the family member who is often too happy and excited about everything is in fact lonely and isolated in their social life, leading them to try to always project a sense of happiness. Yes, people do exist. People are like this. And we didn't understand when we didn't know all of this and we didn't understand, but now we can understand because we studied and we've done research on different moods, different people, different personalities, and all of that, and present this, and then we can understand. We can understand. Okay, number 4, prepare some stock lines to say to the person. Prepare some stock lines to say to the person. So when you encounter this person, you may be so frustrated that you end up saying something that hurts his or her feelings. To prevent this from happening, try to develop a few stock lines that you can use to either engage with the person or end the conversation. And here is an example. So, I'm glad you mentioned that because, or another one could be, that's interesting. I don't know the first thing about that. Or it was nice to see you, but I have to run. So those are good. I'm sorry, I don't have time to talk right now. Maybe some other time. These are good examples, and you have to say it in the right attitude and keep your composure, okay? Number 5, take good care of yourself. Never forget that you, number 1, you have to take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for being here with me. Uh, Hi, Myra Davis. Thank you for being here with me. Number 5, take good care of yourself. If you are hungry, tired, or stressed, then you might find it harder to maintain your composure around someone who annoys you. Make sure that you are practicing good self care to increase your chances of being able to maintain your composure. Some things you can do to ensure good self help care. Some things you can do, and I'm going to turn the camera off right here. I'm coming back. Some things you can do to maintain your composure. And let's look at these things. This is really good. I like to present, and these ensure good self care. They include eating healthy foods, exercising regularly, making time to relax. You have to make time to relax. You have to relax. Now, part two of this, addressing the issue, addressing the issue. What is it about this irritating person? What is it about that person? Number one, identify what the issue is. You may end up having to confront the annoying person and try to work together on ways to address any issues you're having with them. Before you confront the person, you should sit down and try to identify what annoys you so much about the person, because if you don't know going in, how are you going to help yourself or that person? Okay, so you may ask yourself, what does the person do that annoys me so much? Or what is it about that person that I find irritating? You may be able then to address the issue once you are aware of what it is. If you don't know what it is, how will you address it? Because you don't know what to address. I'm telling you, these are really good. Now, for example, you may be annoyed by the fact that your coworker always comes into meetings late and appears disorganized in front of clients. You may then realize that you are annoyed by her behavior, or it could be or his behavior overall, and how unprofessional he or she is acting. Another example might be that you are annoyed with how your family member always talks about themselves and ignores the problems of others. You may realize that you are annoyed by him or her because he or she is not considerate of others. Then, next, we listen. I need to let you know that I am feeling annoyed at your behavior. So let's see about this, okay? Number two, discuss the issue with the person. See, we have to sometimes bring ourselves out of our shell. Sometimes we're shy, sometimes we're introverted, some people are extroverted, some people are ambiverted, some people are, whatever your personality is, you might be withdrawn, you might be an introvert, but you're going to have to come and pass that in order to deal with this person if the person is annoying you, okay? And we have to look at it and see, okay, is it the person or is it me? Is it the person or is it me? The way I feel about the person. Excuse me, please. We have to look at both sides of it. We have to look at both sides of it. Sometimes people, they just accuse other people and talk about other people and their faults. And then if we look in the mirror, we be talking about ourselves sometimes. So we have to be fair in life. And we have to look at every side of every situation and be truthful. All right? No matter which way it is. All right? Number two, discuss the issue with the person. If you would like to confront the person, you should do so one on one in a private, quiet area. You may ask the person if you can speak to them privately after work, or call them and ask to talk to them in private. Try to speak to them in person if possible. Point here, always use I statements and avoid placing blame or accusing that person. For example, I feel or I think. Use those, okay? You may start the discussion by saying, listen, I need to let you know that I am feeling annoyed at your behavior. Takes a lot to do that, doesn't it? Okay, unless you're the annoying person. Now, or unless we're the annoying person. I'm looking at it both ways, okay? It's not always the other person, all right? The next point is you may then expand your thoughts and be honest about why you are or are annoyed by the person. You may say, I feel as though your disorganization is reflecting badly on our team and the company as a whole. I am concerned that you are coming across as unprofessional to clients. That's dealing in that atmosphere, the workplace. Or you may say to your family member, I feel as though you are not being considerate of others and are only focusing on your needs. I am concerned that you are not being as aware of others and their issues as you could be. All right? We'll see if that works, okay? So, next, what can I do to support your behavior? This is a question. What can I do to support your behavior? See, we have to realize don't just tell them this is your flaw, this is what I think of you, and just leave it at that. Ask, is there any way I can help you? Because some people might not know. They don't know. Is there something I can do to help you to figure this out? If I can help you, I will. Okay. So what can I do to support you better? These you have to think rationally. Okay. Number three, come up with solutions together. You should try to work with the person to come up with possible solutions or adjustments they can make to their behavior. It might be difficult for the person to hear your feedback, but uh, they may end feeling bad about their behavior and be willing to try to adjust or change. They may end up feeling bad about their behavior and then try to adjust or change. So you should ask them directly, what can I do to support you better? Or how can I help you improve? Show them you want to collaborate and work together to address the issue. Then, number four, get support. It may be hard for the person to hear your feedback, and they may end up getting upset or angry at you at when you confront them because hey, if they're annoying you and if they're doing it on purpose, they might not like you, and then you could go and try to tell them they have a fault and then try to offer help, and it might make them angry. So be ready to get some help from somebody else. You should be prepared for the conversation to get a little heated. You may want to reach out to a superior at work, such as human resources representative or close friend or another family member, and ask them to support you if the conversation gets too intense. We should always be prepared. And when we are to confront someone about their problems, their faults, whatever we see that we don't feel is favorable in that person's life, then we need to make sure that our life is clean too. Okay? We have to make sure that we can talk about it and not have them to throw it back at us and be true about it. Okay? Now, you should try to enlist support as well as your coworkers or friends may be able to give you suggestions on how to address the issue. Make sure you do not gossip or talk trash to a person with people. Oh, listen, let me get this right. Make sure you do not gossip or trash talk to a person with people in their workspace, um, their friend group, or in your family, as this could just make the problem worse. Instead, try to talk about them respectfully with others and solicit advice on how to best handle the situation. We need, when we're dealing with people, we need to be, what is it, wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Good afternoon, uh, Overseer Don. Thank you so much for being here also. And part three, avoiding conflict. And this is the main thing we want to avoid conflict. Now, there's already conflict in the beginning. If the person is annoying, if the person is aggravating you, agitating you, annoying you, all in your space and everything. So, what we're going to do to try to fix this and try to help this person, and we're going to do it by avoiding conflict in the best way that we can. So, number one, set boundaries. If you find it difficult to be around the annoying person often, you may need to set boundaries so you do not end up getting too emotionally involved. And we can mess up so many times because we get too involved. Too involved. Setting boundaries for yourself is an important coping mechanism and will ensure you are not put in situations where you might come into conflict with the person. And that comes sometimes, that's easier. Just like that, because some people are, if they're aggravating and agitating, people who like conflict and they are annoying and everything, some of those are just ready. They have a short fuse. So this is great information for us. You may try to limit the amount of time you spend with the person, such as only chatting to them briefly in the morning at work and leaving the office for lunch. Or you may only answer their calls or texts when you have free time rather than answering them right away. You may also try to remain calm and detached when they speak to you in meetings or social situations where you cannot excuse yourself. Doing this can set up personal boundaries for you to help you cope with the person's irritating nature. Next, for example, if the annoying person starts talking too loudly at a family dinner, you may try to stay detached and focus on something else in your mind. This will allow you to block out the person and stay calm. All right? This is very important. Now, here's a thank you for sharing this chat with me. Here we go. Another section, number two. Try to remain positive. You should also focus on the positive when you are around the person and try not to let their mood dampen yours. Being positive and proactive rather than angry and reactive may discourage the person from trying to annoy you or bother you. One way you can appear positive is by maintaining open body language. This means maintaining eye contact with the person and nodding to show them you are not fazed by them. You should also keep your arms relaxed and by your sides, because sometimes we can get upset, and you know how we do sometimes. So keep your arms relaxed and by your side, because there are some people who are professionals at irritating and aggravating people, agitating people. Avoid responding to the person with a passive aggressive comment or snide remark. Instead, say something simple and polite like, Thank you for sharing that with me, or sounds great. Try to keep that temper down, okay, on both sides. Now, number 3, stay away from that person. Sometimes this is all you can do. Just stay away from that person, all right? If you are unable to handle being around the annoying person, despite trying to remain positive, you may want to avoid being around the person. Keep your distance and look for ways to avoid spending time with the person. Sometimes the best way to cope is to separate yourself from the person and take some time away from them. No harm, no harm, no harm in doing that, okay? And this point here is you may try to keep your distance for a set period of time so that you have some space away from the person. Maybe you skip a family get together to take a small break from hanging out with the person. Or maybe you try to choose assignments at work that do not involve that person so you can have some space away from them. Okay? And there, so here's some questions and answers here. Expert, and they give you time here to ask questions. So this is WikiHow. This is in WikiHow. Okay, now WIKIHOW. Okay, now we'll go to our next one here, and this is Abby Metcalf, PhD, and this is her site, Abby Metcalf, PhD. Now let's see what Abby is talking about. How to handle aggressive or confrontational people. There are many people out here, and I hope, I'm not, I know I'm not a confrontational person. And I'm going by the grace of God, I want to stay that way. I want to treat people like I want to be treated, and I work on that. I work on that. How about you? How to handle aggressive or confrontational people. Sometimes you get in situations where you might just have to almost run away to get away from these people, because sometimes they will get you in front of people or in a situation where it seems like you might not have an escape. But I guarantee where there's a will, there is a way. How to handle aggressive or confrontational people. How do we handle them? Whether it's a co-worker, friend, parent, or partner. Dealing with people who are aggressive or confrontational is exhausting. Yes, it is. It is exhausting. And there are some people seem like they do 24/7. They can roll 24/7 and all this aggressiveness and all of that. They try to bulldoze, argue, or dominate, which leaves you feeling inadequate, frustrated, upset, or resentful. But all that's going to change after today. You hear that? This is Abby Metcalf. Abby, Abby, PhD. And this is her site, abbymedcalf.com. All right? So she said this is going to change after today. She said, stay tuned to better understand why people are aggressive and confrontational, and her 3-step process for handling these situations with more ease and peace. And that's what we want to do. And here we go. She said, before we begin, I want to clear that for our purposes today, she said, I'm not going to discuss physical aggression or abuse, since that's a huge topic and something you should address immediately with a qualified therapist, healthcare provider, or the legal system. Okay, now the first part here is what aggressiveness looks like. What aggressiveness looks like. We're talking about agitating and aggravating people. All right? Whether you call it confrontational, inconsiderate, rude, or even abusive, aggressiveness is a difficult behavior to handle. When you're dealing with an aggressive person, they're often impolite, inconsiderate, which immediately creates a space where it's hard not to be defensive or run the other way. And I know you've been in situations like that, haven't you? She's saying we psychologists divide aggression into two main categories, with one focusing on emotions and the other on behaviors. We're getting into it, aren't we? Number one, impulsive aggression, also known as affective or reactive aggression. Impulsive aggression is the one that's all about strong emotions. This type of aggression isn't planned and happens in the heat of a moment. Like when you accidentally cut someone off in traffic and they go full road rage. This is also what, uh, let me get back to this. This all is also what happens when you ask your partner to stop dragging the knife directly from the peanut butter into the jelly, and the next thing you know, you're in a screaming match and talking about breaking up. They get angry, defensive, outraged, or enraged in a moment. And they attack because they feel threatened. And have you ever, like some people just go out, so now they mix, now they have peanut butter and jelly mixed together. But then I don't like opening my peanut butter and seeing jelly in it when they're not automatically mixed together. I don't like seeing peanut butter in my jelly if they're in separate jars or separate containers. So I know exactly what she's talking about here. Excuse me. Exactly what she's talking about. Have you ever asked people, over and over not to do a certain thing and they just continue to do it? Yeah, I know. Number two, instrumental aggression, also known as predatory aggression. Instrumental aggression is about how some people behave as they try to reach a goal. This type of aggression isn't spur of the moment. Instead, it's premeditated and carefully planned. This is when someone else, this is when someone does something snotty and says that the end justifies the means, but she doesn't have snotty here. But I'm not going to repeat words or say words that are we consider what is it? No, cussing. I'll say it like that, not cursing, cussing. Okay. So she said that someone does something that it's intentional and says that the end justifies the mean, or maybe my goal is sex with as many people as possible, and if I have to say that I love you even though I don't to make that happen, then so be it. My goodness. The next day, I'm cold and angry if you try to ask me what's wrong. This type of aggression is also common in a workplace where excuse me, someone has a goal to get ahead and steps on your back to make that happen. Have you ever had someone to just climb over you and get all in your way and try to get in front of you to get in your spot and get a promotion or get people to notice them ahead of you? Uh-huh. So, what's the difference between being aggressive and just being angry? What's the difference? The difference is that one is a state, so more constant, while the other is a trait. One is a state and one is a trait. Trait. What is the difference between them? Okay, so more intermittent, anger is a state, not a trait. So, in other words, we get angry in a moment because of an external factor, but it goes away as the external cause dissipates from memory. Got it. You see that, don't you? I see it. I understand it. I really understand it. Understand it the first time. Constant aggressiveness is something different. This is more of a trait than a state, meaning that aggressiveness is actually someone's personality trait. There's been research looking into the types of personality traits, and we've talked about personality traits almost since point of view has been on the web, and I even been doing that, I guess, since 2011, 2012, 2013, whenever I started doing point of view. So yeah, we understand that. Understand that. Yes. So there's been research looking into the types of personality traits most often seen in aggressive people, and the common characteristics besides the aggressiveness itself are trait irritability, which boils down to a tendency to be angry and reactive to slight provocations and disagreements, things that wouldn't anger others generally. And then there's trait anger, which means that in this instance, anger is a trait, not a state. It means the person has a disposition wherein they perceive a wide range of situations as annoying or frustrating and have a tendency to respond to these situations with elevations in state anger. They're easily prone to anger. They show anger more frequently and for longer periods of time. And they have higher levels of physical arousal and negative expressions like arguing or being insulting. Then we go to type A, the type A personality. And if you've been with me anytime, you've heard me talk about these personalities, okay? Type A personality, which refers to a personality associated with competitiveness, high achievement, and impatience. Then we have hostile rumination. We just talked about these a few weeks ago. There's actually something called the dissipation rumination scale, which rates the interval of time between an instigation and when someone reacts with aggressiveness. On one end, people are inclined to let things go and overcome any reactive feelings they might be having, while on the other end, you've got someone who doesn't allow these feelings to dissipate and instead ruminates in a hostile way and thinks of revenge scenarios or retaliations. My Lord. Then the next point here is emotional susceptibility, which is tendency to feel inadequate or vulnerable. Then we have narcissism. Then we have impulsivity. Oh, we did do this a few weeks ago. Now, the next part here, why people are aggressive. Why people are aggressive. There are lots of reasons why people are confrontational or aggressive, I say that almost all of them come down to control. To control. Now we're talking about what is it? Aggravating and agitating people. And now in this, we're understanding why they are like they are. And there's not just one reason, there are many reasons. And they're, hey, you just have to try to, if you see them act out more than one time, by learning these, and you can kind of get an idea of which one of these emotions or personalities it is that's acting out at this time. There are lots of reasons why people are confrontational or aggressive. She said, I say almost all of them come down to control. They fear losing control and or want more control, again from fear, in a given situation. Some specific reasons someone might act aggressively include: one, low self esteem. Let me see, make sure. Okay, I have 8 minutes. One, low self esteem and feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. Number two, fear of intimacy, so they push others away. Number three, they feel misunderstood, frustrated, unheard, or mistreated. Number four, to feel superior or to show dominance. Number five, to compete and win or show others that they're better. Six, because they've got an untreated or undertreated slash mistreated mental illness such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, or narcissism. Dealing with aggressive and confrontational people can be draining. So it's important to use something like, she said, my 3-step process for dealing with aggressive and confrontational people. She goes to step 1 here: understand how it affects you. You see that? Understand how it affects you. When you're dealing with aggressive or confrontational people, it generally creates particular feelings in you. First point here: anger or aggressiveness. Second, stress or fear. Third, overwhelm or being triggered. And defensiveness is the next one. First and foremost, you need to work on your own mindfulness in these situations and not allow yourself to be triggered. You need to work on having a meta view of the situation so you can step back and be in control of your own emotions and reactions. My goodness, this is so nice. This is step 2. Find the love. Now that you see yourself more clearly as uh, as you relate to this person, talking about the aggressive, the confrontational, the agitator, the aggravator, okay? Now that you see yourself more clearly as you relate to this person, it's time to see them more clearly. This is a person who is run by fear. You hear that? Think about it. Someone who has high confidence and self esteem never feels the need to threaten, lose their stuff, or react defensively. This aggressive person is showing you their low self esteem and inability to manage themselves. It's sad and deserves your empathy and compassion. This person does not need your sympathy, however. This isn't about feeling sorry for them and pitying them. Sympathy is only great if you're dealing with something like a death. Otherwise, It's all about empathy and compassion. Sympathy in these moments will make you codependent or condescending because you'll either feel sorry for them, so ignore what you're feeling and avoid speaking to them. Okay, avoid speaking to them about it, or you'll say something to them that's pitying and unhelpful. Either of these reactions creates disconnection. Oh, yes, you can learn about, she said, my 5 steps to empathy if it's something you want to improve. Now, this is a link. So if you go to abbymedcalf.com. You can go there and you can learn, click on this, okay? If it's something you want to improve. In the meantime, practice compassion and try to find the love as you see the aggressive person as a scared child instead of a scary monster. They're doing their best with the tools they have, and their tools suck right now. My goodness. So, step 3, be assertive. Now that you see yourself and your own reactions are more reactions, and you're seeing the other person from a more compassionate and clearer stance, it's time to take some action. It's time for some assertive communication. At its core, assertive communication comes from respect and compassion for yourself and the other person. It means you care about others without worrying about others. Being an assertive communicator will help you in all areas of your life, which is why she said I did a whole episode on the topic. And if you go to her site, you can click on it, okay? She says, so please go check that out. But for now, here are some things you can do to deal with this aggressive and confrontational person. She said, use the I feel formula. You know, they say don't use the I understand or I feel like this. We went through that in the last one. She said, your mantra is, I can't control what they're doing, but I can control my response. Yep, you can. And that's what we've been talking about. Ask them how they feel. They'll try to give you thoughts, but if you can keep at them, you'll eventually get a feeling. We connect with feelings, not thoughts, so this will be a step toward true connection and shifting the trajectory of the conversation. All right? And then there are others here, but I am going to get ready to sign up. The next one is hold your boundary. Boundary. We talked about boundaries. And the next one is their reactions are 100% about them, no matter how much they might try to deflect or place them on you. They're about them. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. End of. Okay? Don't take it personally. This is 100% about them and not you. All right. We just ended it. Thank you so much for being with me. We didn't get to, I think we have Psych Central, but hey, we have time. God give us time. We could come back to that sometime. I love you so much. So now we know how to deal with aggravating and agitating people, because there's some people out there just to get under our skin, but we know how to deal with them now though. And if we need some more research, we can just do it. Okay. I love you so much. And I pray and trust that you will have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, the rest of the Tuesday. Tomorrow, join us at 2:15 for the from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack on Thursday, Point of View on Friday, the Mother's Board Inc. on Saturday, Greater Gospel Temples, Saturday evening Bible lesson session and Inspiration of God Ministries, and then on Sunday, the Manna from Heaven, Greater Gospel Temple and Inspiration of God Ministries. I love you so much. Enjoy the remainder of your day. You are absolutely wonderful, and I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.